Hey, it's Bilal, and this is Deep Sea, the podcast about seeing the world more deeply. There's something quite medieval about living in this time of pestilence, plague, and pandemics. It runs counter to our modern ways of thinking of material abundance, on-demand consumption, and basically not many restrictions on what we can do. But now we're forced to face limits on our movements, limits on our food, and limits on our future. It's almost like we've gone back in time. But that need not be a bad thing. Our forefathers were used to limits and sacrifice. Back in their day, religion played a big role on how to cope in such a world, and I think it's useful to get some inspiration from the heuristics of religions. As it happens, COVID is coinciding with significant events in the religious calendar. Starting with the Christian tradition, we're in the middle of Lent. It actually started on February the 26th. And that was really the very early stages of COVID for us in the West. At the time, there were only 13 COVID cases in the UK, 57 in the US, and 453 in Italy. Today, we have 17,000 in the UK, 125,000 in the US, and 90,000 in Italy. For those that don't remember the religious education classes from school, Lent marks the 40-day period that Jesus spent in the desert soon after he was baptized. He fasted and was faced with 3 temptations of the devil. These symbolize first, hedonism, that is following your appetites. Second, egotism, that is inflating your self-importance. And third, materialism, that is the hunger for worldly gain. To mimic this experience, many Christians will fast or at the very least give up food that they crave, such as chocolate. But the crucial thing here is to give things up to develop yourself. A nice reminder that a lack of stuff in the COVID era may not be so bad. Moving on to Judaism, in a week or so, April the 8th, we have Passover. This commemorates the Exodus, the time that Jewish people escaped from slavery under the Egyptians. There are lots of rituals around Passover. One is not to consume leavened or raised bread, which is to remember that the escaping Jewish people didn't have time to wait for the bread to be raised. Again, a constraint on food. Then there are the extended Sabbath-type restrictions of no work and no driving. But the important lesson here is that while one lived under physical slavery in one period, one must remember not to be a slave to your ego during your physical freedom. Finally, we have the Islamic tradition. On April the 22nd, less than a month away, Ramadan will start. This is a period that Muslims fast for 1 month. That means no food or drink, which includes no water, during daylight hours. This is the 1 month every year that forces Muslims to fundamentally change their routines and remind them of their dependence on food. A bit like what we're feeling like in the COVID period with empty supermarkets. At a deeper level, Muslims also try to be more careful with their words and their thoughts during the month. It may be tempting to get angry and upset when you're hungry, but you can train yourself to move beyond that. Again, a nice lesson for the times we're in today. So, whether you're religious or not, there are some useful stories, traditions, and heuristics we can use from religions to help us during this period of pestilence. We can use this COVID period as an opportunity to fast. Intermittent fasting anyway has become fashionable to help your health, whether relating to longevity or your immune system. We can relearn our dependence on food and become more mindful of what we eat and what abundance we have. We can use this time of restraint to think less about ourselves and more about others and rebuild our relationships. And more fundamentally, we can appreciate our interdependence with everyone else in the world. Without those other people, we can't find the food to eat, we struggle to move around, and we can't really get much done. Stay safe, and thanks for listening. Please tell a friend about the podcast, leave a rating on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you go for your podcasts. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BilalHafiz123. That's @BilalHafiz123. You can also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or on my blog, bilalhafiz.com. For my research work, you can go to macrohive.com. I'll be back soon, so tune in then.